Hi everybody, it's Carla from Casey Creates. I thought I'd take you to work with me. I was asked to come sub, so I thought I'd show you what I do at Clayworks. This is a fairy house made by one of my students. She is amazing with clay fairy houses, and this isn't the finished product, it's just drying right now, but I love the details she makes. I teach hand building and the potter's wheel to adults and children, and this is what you're seeing now. So this evening I was asked to sub for a teacher who had a cold. She teaches beginning wheel, so you typically learn how to consistently make a cylinder. But it's only 6 weeks, and sometimes it's challenging, especially if you've never tried the wheel before. So I was happy though. Most of the students had a lot of success. I was able to sit down next to them and just work on the wheel myself. And admittedly, I'm rusty. I didn't work on the wheel for the last couple of years. I've done some hand building, but thankfully I was able to get several things made. I'm really looking forward to making mugs and sending them in Happy Mail. So that's my goal, is to send some of you one of my handmade mugs. And anyway, so here you see me throwing a pot on the wheel. And I started by throwing what they call on the hump. And that's where you make a big hump of clay and several pots from that same hump of clay. So I'm down to the almost last pot. That's why you don't see much clay underneath. And at some point there's a little wobble, and that's real common when you're working on the wheel, especially off the hump. So I'm showing you how I kind of try to correct it. At this point I think I have like 5 cups, and then they have to get what's called leather hard, and then you put a handle on it. So once I finish this one, there is just a little bit of clay left at the bottom where I make another pot. I didn't show it here in this clip because I didn't want you to get too bored with seeing the same, but I think I show you the finished pot later on in another clip. And right now they don't look like much, just a bunch of muddy hands is really what you see, but I do enjoy it. It can be a relaxing exercise, and I've been doing clay for many years. I've been a pottery instructor for 15 years, I think, and I did clay even in high school. But I got a degree in art education, and the biggest blessing is I get to teach, but I get to teach what I love. So I consider myself blessed. So here I'm finishing up the pot, and I just cut it off with my wire tool very carefully. And then you lift it and put it on what's called a bat, which is to the right of me. And a bat is just basically a platter or a tray where you store all of your pieces so they can dry. I don't know if you can see the lady next to me. She actually has pots. She's so excited. So in this clip, it's just a random clip of everybody roaming around the studio. The guy that just walked by in the blue shirt, they call him the mayor of Clayworks. He's been there forever as a student, and now he's a studio artist. It's a special place. People really have a good time. Learning a craft, making friends, having community. There's one of those finished pots I was telling you about. Here they put my name on the board to show everybody I was their sub for the night. We also have annual sales every year, and pictured here is one of my leaf dishes. And there's the hand building room where I teach hand building on Mondays and Tuesdays. And there's an advanced class going on right now. And they're making big vessels, which are really cool. They're using like a penching method. They also make all their own handmade tools for decorating. And that's the instructor's pot right there. So we're given shelves to store all of our stuff. They're not very big, so excuse the mess. They're jam-packed full with all of our tools and supplies. This young lady is super special. Her name is Molly. She was a student of mine from 6th grade to the end of middle school. Then she volunteered, no pay at all through high school. Now she's a senior at university, and I have passed the baton to her. She teaches the children's classes now, and she's an amazing teacher. She makes me very proud. Here's one of her cute little students. Now I'm all packed up and ready to go for the evening. I was successful with some pots. These are the things I made tonight. And I'm just going to roll everything back to the kiln room. Excuse my squeaky wheels on my cart. I'm going to roll this all back to the Clayworks is actually the number 3 nonprofit studio in the country. And it's amazing. It's an amazing place, if I haven't already said that. Here the students are creating what are called face jugs at different community centers, and we fire them at Clayworks. And there's just another shelf of their work. We do lots of outreach and community work. As an instructor, I have to sell clay to my students, so here you'll see me wandering around in the clay room. I'm going to cash out a purchase for a student. So that's another part of my job. This is our clay storage room. We have all different kinds of clay bodies. Porcelain, stoneware, earthenware. But what I discovered once I got in here was the type of clay she wanted we were all out of. We're waiting on a shipment of clay. I'm waiting on a shipment of clay. I've got work to do. So, sorry I have to have you wander around with me here in the clay storage room. So you see, the 2 years I was in Arizona, clay and lace and fabric don't really mix. Clay can be a grubby place. But I'm thrilled that I got into lace and fabric, because I'll never stop doing that now. I'm hooked. Clay is still my passion. Those of you who don't know, Clay is actually my middle name. It's my mother's maiden name. These are the kilns. We have 10 electric kilns and raku kilns and a huge gas kiln. And this is the bisqueware shelf. All these pieces have been fired once, and now they're waiting to be picked up and glazed, and they'll get fired a second time. And there's all levels of work from beginner to advanced. Up top here's an owl. He's not fired yet. So there's all kinds of carts filled with work back here. Studio assistants take care of all of that. And we're back at the bisqueware shelf. I was going to show you at the very bottom. Sometimes the children's work for some reason doesn't get picked up, but we kind of hold on to it forever so that it can get glazed we all hate to see their work go in the garbage. So those are some fairy houses that they made. But that's pretty much a day in the life at the studio. And maybe I'll get to show you a little more on gallery night when everything's all beautiful. But thanks for joining me, and I hope you liked our little tour. Everyone have a great day.